Hi, welcome to the Paige Doodle Club. I'm Mike Paige, and today we will be drawing a tiger. So grab your drawing supplies. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The important thing is that you make your mark. All right, I'm going to start my tiger off with an almost straight line going across. It's kind of a very flattened rainbow shape. It's just barely arced. Then I'm going to swing down on both sides, kind of like that. So it's almost like, so far, almost like we're drawing a stop sign, but it is all kind of rounded slightly. No straight lines yet. Now I'm just going to connect those two spots where I didn't quite connect it. Then I'm going to swing down. I kind of want to be keeping in my head, so I'm very lightly going to make this middle mark so that you can see. I'm going to try to keep everything nice and symmetrical as I go, so one side will match the other. So right about here I'm going to come down and swing across, and I'll be doing the same thing on the other side. Again, trying to be symmetrical, so try to match it up as well as you can. Right about here, a little more than halfway down, I'm going to make my tiger's nose, which will be a very flattened V shape, like that. And then I'm going to make it almost like you're making a bubble letter V, so I'm going to make it a little bit thicker than that. About like that. And in the middle of this, we're going to make it, now it's almost like a bubble letter T. So there you go. And then we'll make a line down the middle here. And actually next I'm going to come all the way up the whole face, like this. If I was drawing a lion, so far what I've done is pretty much the same as what I would do whether it's a lion or a tiger. This one's going to be a tiger, but if you wanted to make yours a lion, so far this all works for a lion. Next I'm going to make a line from right about here, and again I'm going to try to make everything symmetrical. So now from down here I'm going to swing out and up. This is probably the mark that you've been waiting for. It's kind of a number 3 or a letter B that's been flipped over. This is the part that almost anybody can make if they're making a tiger. They're like, I got this. I got that part of the mouth figured out. I know exactly what I'm doing. Then I'm going to make a little filled in area down here for the inside of the mouth. And I'll connect these with a fairly straight line coming up. So it's almost like you have an upside down heart where the point is covered by the nose area. Then I'm going to make the lower jaw of the tiger, and I'm going to have it kind of squared off. Something like that. This would be a good drawing to be using a permanent marker for, to have like real bold lines. I might double up my lines in some spots. Next I'm going to make an ear, and to do that I'm making a couple lines coming out. And I'm going to make a few marks inside of the ear. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Most tigers have 2 ears. And then again, I'm going to make a few lines inside of there. Now, you're probably wondering, Mike, how come this tiger has no eyes? We're going to fix that right now. So we're going to put our eyes fairly high up, and it's going to be kind of like this. And same thing on the other side. That's almost like, let's see, we're angling down towards the middle of the face. And then almost like you're making a raised eyebrow. Something kind of like that. And then inside of that, instead of making, normally I make very round eyes. For this tiger, it's going to be a little bit of a football shape. And this is kind of looking at the moment a little mountain lion-ish. That's all right. We'll be adding more sort of frill stuff on the outside. And we're going to put tiny little pupils in here. Kind of like that. And I'm going to fill in more of the area around the lower eyelid. Sort of like this. I'm not sure what the purpose of this dark black is on a tiger, but I'm assuming it's kind of like when athletes wear eye black to keep the sun out of their eyes. But again, I'm not sure. But that would be my guess. Almost every adaptation in nature has a very good explanation for it. All right, so now we've got our tiger's eyes. And then I'm going to add all of the fluffy hair sticking out of the face. And I'm going to want it to meet near the bottom. And we're going to have it kind of blocked in. So instead of making like very jaggedy, fluffy hair, it's going to be kind of boxy. And you can almost do it in segments like this. And then make little notches in like that. That's just a letter V turned at an angle. That one's a letter N or a letter Z turned at an angle, and with one more line. So we're kind of breaking up the hair into segments. And I'm going to have a little bit of a point at the bottom. And again, trying to keep things symmetrical. So the tricky thing is on the other side, try to make it so that the hair comes out the same distance from the face as you did on the left side. Now you're probably going to want some stripes on your tiger, because otherwise this could be anything. Could be a mountain lion wearing a beard mask, if that's a thing. So I'm going to have some stripes coming down towards his face, towards his nose. And then we'll make some towards the middle, coming up. And again, trying to keep things nice and symmetrical. I said that, and then I didn't come out quite far enough over here. But I think I might be able to fix it by doing this. Most little mistakes like this you can fix on the fly, especially if you're doing something a little bit more experimental than an animal that everybody knows. You can get away with a little bit more. So for example, if you're making like a woodland house for some dwarf or something, you'd be able to get away with more, because what does that look like? If you're doing it kind of a fantasy version of it, you can make it however you'd like, and there's no right or wrong. So you can get away with a little bit more that way. If you're making an animal that people know, you want to at least be in the ballpark of it. And I don't know that this is exactly what a tiger's stripes should be, but that's what my tiger's stripes will be like. I'm going to grab my marker that I kind of wish I had used for the whole drawing to make really nice, thicker, bold lines. And I'm going to fill in these stripes real quick. So that it's got a little more of a tiger look than just having lines around its face. Your tiger might have very different stripe patterns. You might have taken a left turn early on in this drawing and said, no, mine is a lion. You might have gone any number of directions with your tiger. And I fully support that. If you see an opportunity to go a different direction with it and make it more unique, go for it. You can do dots for the whiskers along here. You can kind of do zigzags. I think the zigzags really work on this style that this tiger is done in. And I might add a couple stripes up on the ear too. Just something to break up that shape a bit more. And then if you wanted, you could kind of outline the whole thing a bit thicker. Again, I kind of wish that I had used marker to do the actual drawing, because I think this would have looked better with very bold lines around the outer edge. I'm going to come in real quick now to add that. I've been excited to be back at work at my after-school program, where the kids come up with new things for me to draw every day. Yesterday I drew a dinosaur battle. That's always a good day when somebody asks you to draw a dinosaur battle. And first graders know a lot about dinosaurs, so when I make a guess on a certain detail or what dinosaur it might be fighting, they correct you in a hurry. They'll say, that was not around at the same time as that kind of dinosaur. They were in 2 different periods. I used to know all of my dinosaur facts when I was in first grade, but unfortunately I grew up some, and I don't remember all that stuff now. But it's good to be back working with kids and getting their fresh take on things, and being put in my place when I don't know enough about a topic, like dinosaurs. I'm amazed how much kids know about stuff that they're into. It's pretty impressive. All right, here's our finished tiger. I hope you enjoyed following along. If yours came out great and you're really proud of it, go ahead and post it on social media, and don't forget to tag Paige Doodle Club so we can see how they came out. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and tune in next week.